Morning, y'all. So there's a video I posted about a month ago almost, where I expressed how I failed my driver's test. For any of you who are looking for an update, I failed again, twice in fact. And it's funny because it clicked into my head, like the importance of the pursuit of perfection. Now, for all y'all out there that's driving, you all know that you simply just got to do enough to pass the test. And most people who are on the road clearly don't know how to drive, or they forget the rules of driving. All the stuff that you had to do to pass the test, that goes out the window the moment you hit the road, okay? Because you've been licensed to drive. So can't nobody tell you nothing. Now, I'm going to tell you about my experiences. So the second time I went back, I had two issues. One was the issue with the lights, because I was so focused on getting down parallel parking that's all I really focused on. So when it came to everything else, like the car controls, and even just like signaling and like using your mirrors and everything like that, I wasn't really concerned with that, because all I was trying to get down was the parallel parking, assuming that if I get that down, then once I hit the road, I ain't gonna have no problem. Turns out I did a rolling stop on my second test. Now, I actually did do a rolling stop, and I didn't realize it until, I thought back like, yeah, I actually did do a rolling stop, For all yours that are watching right now, you're probably gonna think to yourself, how you lose off a rolling stop? You probably did a rolling stop right now. I guarantee you, and I'm not saying this to like grind y'all up, but you ever notice that once you start paying attention to things, you see it everywhere now? Everyone does a rolling stop. I don't care who you are, you've done it. You probably just been fortunate not to have been caught. But when I took my third test, the third time I failed, I got hit with a rolling stop again. But it was funny, because a rolling stop essentially means that you reached the stop sign, and while you slowed down, you didn't come to a complete stop. I was told by the instructor on my third test, on my third try, that while the car does have to come to a complete stop, there has to be like a jerk back of the car. Okay? You ever notice when you come to a stop at like a stoplight, at a red light? Sorry, y'all, I'm on my daily Saturday walk. And when you come to that stop at the red light, the car like jerks back when you come to a complete stop. Essentially, that's what I have to do when it comes to stopping at a stop sign. Now you come to the realization you got to treat those stop signs like they're actual red lights. And when I get on the road officially, people gonna have to just be mad at me, because I'm just gonna do that. Okay. Now, what made me relax after I got through the depressive state of failing a driver's license, a road test for the third time, was how this actually relates to fighting. Okay. Not just in fighting, but in everything we do, everything we learn. You are taught to seek perfection in everything you do. When you learn how to strike, you want to be able to throw a punch correctly. You want to be able to throw a kick correctly, an elbow correctly, a knee correctly. You want to shoot for a takedown correctly, okay? All the things that you learn when it comes to learning how to fight, at least from the technical aspect of it, you want to be able to do those things as perfect as possible, okay? Another thing that jammed me up was, just to throw this out there, when I did the parallel parking, because the parallel parking the third time was straight, it was cool, but I didn't signal and check my mirrors when I had to get out the parking space, okay? And one thing I noticed is that driving instructors, they don't want to tell you how to do any damn thing. In fact, when you come there to take the test, you're supposed to be able to know how to do everything. All they gotta do is just ask you, do you know how to do X, Y, and Z? And you just show them you do, okay? It's the same thing when it comes to training, when it comes to learning the arts, okay? So even though we may not reach a state of perfection, that's also the reason why we have to train all the time, train daily, like I always say, okay? Because that's these skills that we're learning that we're teaching ourselves to have, we got to be able to call on them when necessary. It's like if a person hasn't driven in X amount of years, but the moment they get a car, they can just hop in the car and just start driving like they never missed a beat. It has to be the same thing when it comes to fighting. It has to be the same thing in any area of life. You follow what I'm saying? So, having got over my depressive state, I still once again got to train and be more meticulous and pay more attention to detail when it comes to driving, especially when it comes to driving, because one wrong mistake can result in, an accident or even worse, death, But it's funny because it's the same thing when it comes to learning how to fight. You can't take any chances. You got to make sure that everything you do is to the T. Excuse me. So you can't compromise that. So essentially, the point that I'm making is, in everything you do, you got to pursue perfection. You got to be as close to perfection as possible. It's not enough to just be satisfactory at what you do. You got to be the best at it. Okay? And here's another thing that tells me, because I live in Philly, for those of you who don't know, and people tell me all you gotta do is go to one particular center, and they'll pass you because they're more relaxed and everything like that. And I'm like, with my personal history, nah, that ain't it, because it don't matter who the instructor is. You still got to do the actual work. Okay. So if you fail to signal when you turn, if you run a stoplight, a red light, or a stop sign, if you do the things that shows the instructor that you don't belong on the road, they're gonna tell you that. Okay? And in 3 failed attempts, I've basically shown that I don't belong on the road yet. So evidently that means it don't matter where you go to take your driver's test. If the instructor sees that you don't know what the hell you're doing, you're not getting no license. Okay? It's that simple. And as a coach, you don't want to have people come to you and they learn from you and they look at you like you don't know what the hell you're doing. You need to know what the hell you're doing. Okay? You can't call yourself a teacher and what someone's looking to learn from you, you can't teach. So if you take nothing away from this video, whatever you seek to do, be the best at it. Okay? And don't concern yourself with what this person did or what that person is doing, or how the hell they was able to do something, and despite the obvious fact that they can't really do it, you just need to seek perfection. Absolutely. Okay? Be the best that you can be. Alright? Y'all take care, and as always, train daily.